Welcome to Operations and Supply Chain University. I'm Jerry Wright. This is Ops University Lean Six Sigma Black Belt Certification course, lesson number 9, Leader Standard Work. So what is leader standard work? It's a defined management routine. So it's the when, where, what, and how of what's going on as a leader. It's a best known and agreed upon practice. And it's a people linking method. It's vertical, so from the shop floor to the C-suite or the executive level, but also horizontal from team member to team member and from team to team. Now, why would we want to do Leader Standard Work, or LSW as it's abbreviated? We want to provide feedback and recognition to teams and to individuals. We want to track performance versus expectations. So what are the standards? We want to understand variations, identify root causes, develop and track countermeasures. That's a key thing, happens every day. Evaluate effectiveness of the existing standards we have in the workplace, and then provide support. So what do I need from my team members, supervisor, or manager? And then reinforce the standard work in both safety, quality, as well as production and service. See the team working and observe their work areas. That's very important. So in a servant leadership model, the leaders are really in support of the managers, who are then in support of the supervisors and employees. So employees deliver the value and support the purpose and vision of the company. The managers help employees determine who, what, and when to achieve the purpose and vision, whereas the leaders really provide the vision, so where we're headed, and the purpose, why are we headed there? So that's really the breakdown in a servant leadership model. The employees are the ones delivering the value, and the leaders and the managers are supporting delivery of that value, whether it's a service or a product. Now, in leader standard work, there's different levels. Obviously, we talked about the executive level and then the frontline operators. So if we look at the frontline operators at the top, then they're usually supported by leads, sometimes directly by supervisors. Then there's usually managers or directors, and then there's typically executive C-suite owners, general managers, things like that. Now, when we look at leader standard work in terms of the allocation of time, the frontline operators, their work is pretty consistent day to day, and what they do 90 to 95% of their day is defined. Leads, probably 75% of their day. Supervisors, maybe only 50%. Sometimes there's different requirements, different things need attention. Managers, 25% of their time, and executives, only about 10% is standardized. Many things are focused in other areas, whether it's mergers, acquisitions, special deals, financing, board reporting, things like that. There's a lot more variation. And so again, that's kind of the breakdown when we look at the leader standard work. The leaders, at the highest levels will have the least level of standard work. So let's look at some examples of what leader standard work could look like in kind of a calendar format. So here's an example. This was from a company I worked at a number of years ago. So the day of the week, you can see Monday through Friday, the time of the day, 7 to 8 in the morning, up to 5 to 6 in the evening. And this was basically for one of the value stream leaders, is how they would go through their day, what they had to be on, what the different meetings were each week. And you can see some once a week meetings. There's one on Tuesday and one on Friday. And again, the goal is to make sure you're getting out to all the different teams. So Gemba, remember, Gemba is the actual place. It's where things are happening. So a Gemba visit would be going to, say, the first upper left to the fab area, or Gemba to the end of the line, or Gemba to the core form, shell form area on Thursday. So that's a whole hour with that team, meeting with them, checking in, see how they're doing, see if they need anything, basically building that relationship and that understanding of what's going on in each area. And the way this value stream leader set it up is they could get to every area within a week and spend a good hour there meeting and talking with all employees. The only unplanned times for this particular person, you can see Friday in the morning and from 10 to 11 in a few days, and in the afternoon from 2 to 3. So it's pretty well planned out. And this is a long day, 7 to 6. It's an 11-hour day, but that was the requirements of this particular position. Now for a lead, this was an example for one of the leads on second shift. They kind of had their standard work listed and what they were going to do, and they had key tasks to perform, and then they would initial as they got things done and went through their particular day. So this is an example of the upper part of the page and their standard work they would follow. And then this was the lower part of the page. And you can see there's a lot of things they had to do, including coaching, and then sometimes monthly performance progress coaching. So again, this was only once a month, and sometimes it was done on the line. Other times it was done in a conference room or in an office, depending on what was going on with that person. And I don't know if you can see on this, but it says number one issue today. So what's the one thing you're focused on today? So that kind of plays into our improvement kata or Toyota kata. What's the one thing you're working on? And then there's, of course, a place for notes. Now, on the back side of this form, so this was the top and the bottom of this form, and the back side was this, kind of some standard work discussion, performance feedback. Hi, Bill, I wanted to get together with you to discuss your overall performance for the month. And, this is how it's going. This is what's going on. Or maybe there's a quality follow-up. So you can see in the middle, tell me about your quality record for this month. How's it going? What steps are you taking to ensure a high level of quality, i.e. rework, scrap, etc.? So again, this was just questions for the leads to have to help them. And this is a form they completed every shift and then turned it into their supervisor or manager. And again, the goal is to make sure we were getting proper development and support for everybody on the line, all the frontline operators. Here's a pocket card. One of the value stream leaders had their day out, and they'd put the card in their pocket to make sure they were in the right place at the right time. So that was an example of one way to hit it. We even had standard work for some of the directors. So again, a lot more free time, as you can see in the middle. Mondays were pretty busy and Fridays were busy in the morning. Looks like there was a daily Gemba walk in the morning and one in the afternoon. So this was a fair amount of standard work for even someone at a director or senior director type of level. And then we also had, admins executing standard work as well. They were going on the Gemba walks and they had specific meetings they would attend and cover. So again, it was very standardized at this particular company, and we achieved some amazing results with this leader standard work. Now, in successful leader standard work design, you interact with teams daily. You develop a standard cadence to see all your employees each week, and that can be a lot if you have 50 or more employees. Provide feedback to your team and reinforce the behaviors that are expected. And remember that leaders are there to ensure the team's success. They cannot be successful if their team is not successful. So that's the whole reason to do the leader standard work, is to build the capability. Now, one other thing that's important to remember is frontline operators and people like predictability in their leader behavior. They don't want to go, oh, is this the good leader today or the bad leader today? They want some predictability. They know what's going to happen based on their performance and their feedback. Now, you want to have that positive situation. You don't want to have the negative situation, but sometimes you want to know that if you do something wrong, you're going to get called on it. Now, the benefits of leader standard work. I want to share this example with you. It's from a little while ago, but not very long. And they put in a leader standard work problem. They did stand-up meetings, problem solving, and they also did an audit of operator standard work every day from like 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Everybody in management went on the floor and went out and met with an operator and greeted and said, hi, how you doing? How's it going? Show me your standard work. Oh, tell me what you're working on. And they would observe it to see what they were doing. So they had to adjust to the process. It was a little weird for everybody at first, but once they got about 1 or 2 months under their belt, the benefits they realized were substantial. So one, they reduced safety incidents and near misses in first aid significantly. They had a 50% quality improvement. So imagine if they had 6 or 7 defects in a particular line, they got that down to just 3 or 4. They had less errors, less waste, less scrap. The other thing they picked up was a 25% productivity improvement. Now, it was really just due to following the correct standard work. They had better flow, less rework. And keep in mind, when the quality is better, the scrap and the rework is reduced, and that way the productivity is higher. So that's pretty amazing. 50% quality improvement, 25% productivity improvement just by auditing standard work. I mean, that's pretty incredible. And again, I found that auditing standard work is not done nearly enough, and the benefits of doing it are fantastic. So let's do a little mock situation here. Let's do a chance to practice leader standard work and coaching. So imagine you're coaching a baseball team, and normal situation's going to happen. You've got players, you've got uniforms, you've got all the different normal things a baseball team would have, and you're the coach. So are you ready? So here is our chance to practice. Let's go. All right. Let's see. Our batters hit .067. Okay. The team had 14 errors. All right. 15 runs and 27 outs. Well, we think we won the game, but we're not sure. We didn't see it. We were in our office. Yeah, you can't win the game from your office. You need to be there watching the team play, seeing how they're doing, and coaching them as they go. There's just no way to do it from your office. And that's why it's important to get out and see your team and interact with them and see how they're playing the game. Now, what leader standard work is not, it's important to note it's not a means to have every minute of every day defined for every leader or manager. It's just whatever works for your circumstance and your situation to get out and see your team. It's not a way to make your workday last more than 12 hours. That's a pretty long day. It's not a method to micromanage teams. We don't want that. It's also not a rigid structure that must be followed exactly, and it's not a way to assign blame more effectively. That's not what we want to do. Definitely don't do that. Now, leader standard work in terms of perception versus reality. So here's the perception. Leader standard work takes too much time. No, it doesn't. Leader standard work takes less time after you've practiced and you've got good at it, maybe a month or more. It actually takes less time. The other perception is I already have too many meetings. Now, the reality is leader standard work with Gemba walks and number of meetings typically goes down by more than 30%. Also, emails drop, phone calls drop because you're meeting when you're on your Gemba walk. Perception. I already know what's going on and I know my team wasn't. There's no substitute for being there and seeing it. It's like trying to coach from your office. It doesn't work. I have all the reports and data I need to give me regular status updates. Again, no coach can win the game from his or her office. The scoreboard does not tell you how the game is being played. You have to be there. You have to watch it. The final perception, I'm already on the floor a lot and I know what's going on and I know my team. It's like, well, the reality is consistency, being present and establishing a cadence and a predictability is irreplaceable, and leader standard work and Gemba walks give you that capability. So, a great book, an absolutely fabulous book if you want to better understand this concept of servant leadership and supporting your team, is It's Your Ship by Captain Michael Abershoff. I've had Mike speak at a couple conferences for the Association for Manufacturing Excellence, and the end of his presentation, people are standing and tears rolling down their face. Just a fantastic, amazing story, and he's a fantastic speaker. If you get his book, I promise you, it does not disappoint. My friend and author Katie Anderson from the Bay Area of California wrote a book called Learning to Lead, Leading to Learn. A little hard to say at times, but it's lessons from the Toyota leader Isao Yoshino, and just really a fantastic book. It was a bestseller for a number of weeks, and I would strongly recommend you look at that one too. It's just a fantastic book. And I've recommended it before, Dr. Jeffrey Liker, The Toyota Way, another great way to understand how the concept of leader standard work and those kind of things works. Fantastic books and references. That's it for leader standard work. Thank you.